Alrighty. Hi, my name is Tori Fitters. This is for Environmental Science, spring of 2016. I just read Jaguar, One Man's Struggle to Save Jaguars in the Wild by Rabinowitz. This was published in 1986. This book is about the struggle of one man and his goal to study and create a preserve for jaguars in the wild. Jaguar describes the ups and many downs of trying to save and understand the wild jaguars of Coxcomb. Alan Rabinowitz was a scientist, and he collared and tracked 8 different jaguars, all of which died by the end of the book. Alan struggled to change the deadly mindset of Native Mayan Indians about the tigers. It is what the Mayans called jaguars at the time. Alan's 8 jaguars that he had collared and captured at any point were Chac, C-H-A-C. He was the first one Alan ever trapped. He was extremely aggressive, and Alan really never understood why he was so aggressive, and he kept getting trapped over and over and over again in the book, and he wasn't sure quite why. But then Chac ended up dying at the very end of the book. He died for really unknown reasons, besides that his canines ended up breaking off. One of them ended up breaking off like an inch or inch and a half. The last time he was trapped, he tried escaping and broke his canine off in the cage. And then there was a Putch. He was actually captured by Batter and Alan and Batter's men. He chased a Putch with dogs, and it took quite a few days just to catch him. A Putch ended up getting shot in the head, but he wasn't dead right away. Alan actually found him and brought him back to his hut and started freaking out. And while Eput was dying, he took Eput's head and showed it to the Indians that were surrounding him in the hut, and sat there and said, "You did this, you killed him, these are the people that killed you." And then he kept all of a Putch, I think. And then there was Xchel, which was his first relocation jaguar that he had. It was his first female as well. Xchel actually ended up getting shot as well. She got shot because this ranch hand ended up killing her, named Pedro, because his boss told him that he needed to, while Sue, who was Alan's girlfriend kind of thing at the time, while Alan was gone, Sue was kind of in charge of everything, and she led Pedro right to the female, and he shot her on sight, little to Sue's knowing that he was going to do that, and she felt horrible about it afterwards, but Alan reassured her that it was okay because he probably would have done the same thing. And then there was Itzena. He was the oldest jaguar that Alan ever caught. He described him as the king. He was the old king of the jungle of Coxcomb, and he ended up dying in a very peaceful way. He died in like this really shadowy area where there was mist everywhere, and it was like mystical, and it was very, very peaceful, and he went into sleep, it looked like. And then there was X-Men Ek. He was a very young Jaguar. He was the one that Alan felt the closest to, and he was right up against the cage and looking into his eyes, and he felt really close to this Jaguar. And he ended up losing him. Like, he just kind of stopped getting signals from the collars from X-Men Yuck. And so he never really found him, never really knew what happened to him, just figured maybe he died or the collar messed up or something like that. And then there was a Kin, who was like this really mysterious Jaguar that he never got to catch, and he had this toe that went off to the side, and he was a huge Jaguar from what he knew about him. He knew that he was around because of that toe. He could always tell that that was him, and by he'd follow like feces and stuff along the timber roads and stuff, and he followed Akin quite a bit, but he never got to capture him. And by the end of the book, he was happy that he didn't, because all of the collared Jaguars that he ever got ended up dying, and he felt that it was not ethnically okay for him to actually catch that Jaguar, because, I mean, it was the only one left that was surviving that was from the beginning all the way to the end, that was still surviving. And then there's Kakul Clan. He was super aggressive. He was the second relocate that Alan did. He relocated him because he was killing cattle, and the ranchers were going to kill him if he didn't. And he actually, as soon as he got out of the trap, because Alan poked him because he wasn't moving at all, as soon as Alan poked him, he actually chased Alan to the truck. Alan jumped into the truck, and Kaku Clan, like, jumped into the truck, like, jumped at the truck, but he kind of fell short and hit the truck instead. And Alan yelled at him, and there was this camera guy that was actually filming it at the time, so it was kind of neat. That part was pretty interesting, and he ended up walking away and whatnot. And well, then there was also, I found this one really interesting, there was a Jaguar that was hit by the chief of police, and it was like not a big deal at all. He was bragging about it even though it was illegal. So that really kind of put in perspective the mindset of the people over there at the time, that Jaguars' lives really didn't matter. It was a cool thing to do if you killed one, even though it was illegal. I mean, even the chief of police killed one and yelled at Alan when he told him that it was illegal, and told him that, you know, it wasn't okay. And the chief of police like made it a big deal that was his Jaguar. Alan almost died from, it was this thing where like worms are in his skin and all that, and he almost died from that. And then he was also in a plane crash where he almost died. His head went through the windshield, and the hospital people didn't really care at all about that. There was a quote that I really liked as well. It was on page 304. It was when he was talking to the actress that had went with him for a day. She told him that he was a hero. she said, "You know you're a hero, you know that, don't you?" she said to me one afternoon. I had just told her about Aput's death. "No, I'm no hero," I said. "I'm running away, away from the world of people, to a much saner world, the world of animals. I'm doing what I love doing and helping living things that have no control of their own destiny. You just described the hero figure. I think of a hero as someone who sacrifices his own well-being to help or save others. I may have taken risks helping the animals, but it's not for myself as well. My motives are selfish. I'm not the savior of jaguars, but simply someone who feels more comfortable in their world than my own." "You really don't see it, do you?" she smiled. "Whether it's a role you've chosen or even what you want, it makes little difference. You're the archetypical great white hunter, but you're saving the animals instead of killing them." And I really do believe he was kind of a hero in a sense, because he did more than just save these jaguars. I mean, he brought them to light, and he got the government to actually get the preserve and all that. But he brought to light that we really do we have a really big role in how we affect the world, like the species around us. I mean, even if it's something little, like what he did with the trap, he ended up, I mean, the first jaguar he ever trapped, he ended up killing, because he died because of trying to escape and breaking off his teeth. And Alan felt horrible about that, but it was something so small as just trapping this jaguar that killed it. And not even thinking about that is what killed this jaguar, you know. And, you know, we do a lot of stuff that we don't really think about, and we end up hurting a lot more species than we really do, you know. Like, we don't think about, oh, we're gonna ruin this stream if we let these cows just roam and go to the bathroom in it and do whatever. We're not thinking about that stream that's running through there, that the feces and the urine are gonna get into, and it's gonna harm those species that are in that stream. That ecosystem is going to be like screwed up because of that. I mean, the change in the pH level in the water, and, you know, the minnows in there aren't going to be able to breathe as well, and the frogs aren't going to be able to, you know, there's a lot that affects it just by simply letting those cows be in that stream, or letting runoff from fertilizer from fields, the fertilizer from the fields run off into streams or run off into other ecosystems. I mean, that messes a lot of things out more than we think about. We don't even think about that kind of stuff. But that is my analysis, is that this book is more about, you know, we need to think more about what we do and how it's going to affect other things, instead of being so selfish a lot and kind of just thinking about ourselves and what it's going to benefit us. So in my mind, Alan Rabinowitz helped more than just the jaguars, but also helped other species that we've harmed and brought to light that we really do need to help these animals. So I hope this is going to post, but we will see. But thank you very much, and I hope this worked. My name is Tori Fitters, and I read Jaguar, One Man's Struggle to Save Jaguars in the Wild by Alan Rabinowitz. It was published in 1986. Thank you.